afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Robert Weichelt with EXP for another episode of Weichelt Wednesday. My good buddy Ron Siegel on the line. Let's just dive right into it. Ron, you've been around for a long time. Tell the audience, who's Ron Siegel?
Well, I've been doing, you're right. I've been doing loans and in the real estate space for a long time. I helped the first family actually get a mortgage loan while I was still in college, Chapman College, before it became a university in 1983. So been doing it a long time. Ended up, I was a serial entrepreneur, owned and sold my own businesses for many years. Went to work at Merrill Lynch in the late 90s, got all my licenses there. I realized that more people wanted to have debt than wanted to have assets. So I jumped from the asset side into the lending side. I've been helping people with home finance, business finance, credit repair for all these years. And then about 12 years ago, I actually started doing a radio show every Sunday morning, which has grown into being, now we're on 6 days a week, talking about everything that has to do with the roof over your head or your bank account or both.
Wow, that's incredible. You've 1983 first started getting into the loan business. Fast forward a few years, you've got your own radio show that started on Sundays, and now you're 6 days a week. I mean, you're just a force to be reckoned with, my friend. So let's dive right into it. Tell us a little bit about your radio show and a couple of tidbits of that.
So the radio show is geared to just helping people and educating people. There's so many people that have misconceptions. There's so many scams out there. So our whole focus on radio is education. So we've actually been helping people because of the amount of years that I've been doing this. I've learned, I've actually been fortunate enough to talk to a lot of people and learn a lot. So we've actually started now helping people and educating on the credit report space. Obviously, a lot of people don't realize that the difference between a 650 FICO score and a 720 FICO score on a $500,000 loan is about $239 a month.
That adds up.
So, we want to help people get out there. Right now, obviously, we're in a very, very volatile environment in lending and in finance. And I just shared with my team today a method of starting a 30-year loan with like a 2.75% interest rate, even in today's environment.
Wow.
So we're always looking for new ways to be able to help folks get that new home and accomplish the American dream of homeownership.
You know, that's, God bless you, man. I think that's awesome. I think that our industry, it lacks a lot of, folks like yourself that are educating the consumer, because they certainly don't know the ins and outs and some of the nuances of these different types of loans that are out there. And as we go into a different type of market, there might be some more different, some designer loans that maybe aren't in the best interest of these consumers. And, leading by education is something that's just not done a lot, and that's commendable. And I personally, being in the business as long as I have, appreciate that. What else is going on in the mortgage market that maybe some consumers or agents that are listening to this, what are some messages you want to tell to them?
I think the biggest thing that I would share right now is don't go to the big banks. Not that they're bad, but the big bank only has one product to offer, and that's theirs. Right? So if you go to the Stagecoach, who's getting out of mortgage business anyway, but if you go to them and ask them what Bank of America is doing or what Chase is doing, they don't know. So go to a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker and let them be your personal shopper, because a good mortgage banker or mortgage broker is probably talking to 35 or 40 different investors every single day. And there's no one product that's right for everybody. I was around in the days of the pick-a-pay loan. I was around in the days of the subprime lending, and neither of those were bad products. There was bad applications of those products.
Yeah.
So if you had a good mortgage banker or mortgage broker that's educating you on the good and the bad of every product, then the consumer can actually make an educated decision. They can't make an educated decision without being educated. And your neighbor and your best friend's dog, they really don't know the market. There's no possible way, just like in your case, Robert. I mean, you're doing what you do, probably probably part-time, maybe 12 hours a day or 15 hours a day, right? So you're what, a half-time worker, right? That's my idea of part-time is 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
right? I couldn't become an expert as a plumber or an air conditioning repairman if I did it in my spare time
Yeah.
or talking to my neighbor, right? Why would you expect that when you're dealing with your largest asset, your largest liability, that you're going to leave that to what do I find online, or what is TikTok telling me, or, what are these other areas that I can't vet? Talk to an experienced realtor, talk to an experienced lender that's been doing it for a period of time.
You know what is interesting? You mentioned some of the big banks. Not that we don't want to, refer our clients there, but in this environment, it's more important now than ever is to give the borrower options that best
Right.
meet their goals. And being a mortgage banker and a mortgage broker allows us to reach out and look at for the best product for that consumer. I dig that.
Yeah, I mean, we just came out with a product. We call it a Home Select, and it's a principal pay first loan. And most people, you talk about what's a principal pay first loan, they have no idea what that means. And I would venture to guess if you ask 9 out of 10 lenders, they have no idea what that is. But it's a great product for the right person. If you've got variable income, if you want to pay your 30-year loan off in 11 years, if you want to have a sub 2 EPR, those are things that most people aren't even thinking about. The debt consolidation loans and what a household blended interest rate is. People don't understand that, you might have a 3.5%. And I just helped a family this way, that a 3.5% first mortgage, but when we refinanced them into a 6 and an 8, they saved $1,800 a month.
Wow.
That's massive, right? I mean, what can you do with $1,800 a month? People come to me and say, well, what do you think about these 15-year loans? And I hate them. And I'll explain why I hate a 15-year loan. I don't mind paying ahead on your mortgage, but I don't know if I step off a curb. Well, heck, look at some of just yesterday in football, right? You got a young kid that had his whole career in front of him in San Francisco, breaks his ankle, doesn't know if he's going to play again.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if those things are going to happen. If I'm on the hook for a 15-year loan, it's a lot harder to make that payment than a 30-year loan.
Yeah. Certainly limits your options. That's for sure. So you've been doing this a long time. You got your radio show. You've got some killer products. What's the message that we want to leave the agent and or the consumer with? What, in closing, what would we like to tell them?
Work with experience. That's really the bottom line. Is I hate the idea that it's so simple to get a real estate license. I tell people it takes 90 days to get a real estate license and 18 months to get a license to cut hair. And I don't even have any hair. Right. So, and I know that people need to get started in their careers as a realtor or as a lender, but get a mentor.
Yeah.
If you're going to work with somebody, make sure that they've got either they're experienced or they're part of a team that's got the experience, because every transaction that I come across has a speed bump in it. If you've got an experienced guide on that road with you, they'll know how to navigate that speed bump.
Absolutely. I coach, train, and mentor agents all over the country, and that's some really solid advice. And I can't stress that enough. If they're new in the business, whether they're an agent, whether a lender, get a mentor, and they can reach out to us. We can coach, train, and mentor these new agents, new lenders all day long. So, man, Ron, I appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing so much great information. And let's get you back on here again real soon, and let's continue this conversation, my friend.
Look forward to it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. This is Robert Weichelt for another episode of Weichelt Wednesday. Have a great day.